Good morning. I'm Jim, and welcome to your daily cup of cyber. Today, we're going to talk about the Wednesday topic of the day. That's the threats or attacks that we've seen. And today, we're going to talk about an attack on Apple, particularly the Apple iCloud. This unique attack is it's really not technical. It's not a technical attack, uh, but it does really require some access to technology. So the attack we're going to talk about is the iCloud attack of 2017. The reason we're talking about that now is that the perpetrator was just sentenced. So we'll just talk about what the sentence was, what the attack was, and what actually happened here. So Kareem Al-Barak, hopefully I'm saying that right, threatened to wipe out 319 million Apple iTunes accounts. First, he threatened to do this and wanted a ransom of 75,000 in e-commerce, iTunes gift cards, really. Then he upped that amount to 100,000. Kind of definitely one of the ransomware attacks we've seen, but it wasn't really like a crypto attack. So it wasn't a crypto locker attack, but it was a ransom against Apple. And he figured that, if I go after one of these big companies, they'll just pay the money rather than risk the loss of the account. So he claimed he had access to over 300 million accounts and could wipe them out. Really, what he was using is what's called a stuffing attack. And at the end of this little show today, we'll talk about what a stuffing attack is. And again, this happened in March of 2017. The reason we're talking about it now is he just got sentenced. So his punishment was a 2-year suspended jail sentence, 300 hours of unpaid work, and then a 6-month electronic curfew, kind of a leash kind of thing, electronic leash. He was from North London. This all happened in England. So really, what is this stuffing attack, right? So in a stuffing attack, the attacker finds one of the breach sites. So when one of the big companies, like when Target gets breached, for example, or the government gets breached, and all of the accounts are placed online, all the account information, usernames, and passwords are placed online, these attackers will go download those lists of accounts, usernames, and passwords, and then they'll go to other sites and see if any of those accounts work. If they do work, like in this case, he used 3 of the accounts that he found on a breach site. He tried them on iTunes, and they worked. So I'm sure he tried more than 3, but he found 3 that could work. He videotaped himself or recorded himself using these 3 accounts, and then sent that to Apple saying, hey, look, I can prove that I breached 300 million accounts. Here's examples of me logging into people's accounts. Obviously, this is why you should change your password frequently, right? And if you're notified that you're part of a breach, definitely change your passwords. And obviously, don't use the same password on different accounts. And I know that's hard. There's a ton of different places you have to use usernames and passwords, and it's hard to keep all those different. So it's nice to use something like a password vault, right? There's plenty of them out there. Not saying you have to use any of these products, but like Norton's antivirus solution, their malware solution, comes with a password vault, right? So you get LifeLock protection, you get a password vault, and you get the anti-malware protection for your computers. So use something like that. Set complex passwords. Don't reuse passwords across different accounts, because then if you use the same account password across multiple sites, when one of them becomes breached, essentially all of them become breached. So this type of attack, this stuffing attack, is using usernames and passwords that were found from a breach site somewhere where there was maybe millions of passwords and usernames that were downloaded and then placed online. The bad person, the attacker, goes to those locations, downloads that information, and then just tries accounts on different sites. So they may may try it on 1,000 different sites, right? So this type of attack can be automated with attack tools. So you can load that set of usernames and passwords into an attack tool, and it will go automatically try different accounts. So that's probably what happened here. So lesson of the day is, don't share passwords and across multiple sites. Try not to share usernames across multiple sites. Use something like a password vault, a password locker, if you can. Change your passwords frequently, and if you've been notified that you're part of a breach, other nice thing about Norton, again, not saying that's what you should buy, but something like this is available from a lot of people, is information that will notify you if your username shows up on any of these breach sites in, the term of the day of the dark web. If they're finding your information out there somewhere in one of these breach sites, you'll be notified, and it'll let you know how many they found. It won't necessarily be all of them, but it'll let you know how many were found. So again, when we study for different certifications, we talk about these straight and narrow definitions of, like, ransomware is normally tied to like a crypto locker, where your hard drive gets locked up, encrypted, and then you have to pay someone to get it unlocked. This essentially is a ransom attack, right? So he was ransoming these user accounts to Apple and hoping he would get the money. And again, the iTunes probably not. iTunes cards is probably not the best way for him to go about getting that, because that's fairly easily traceable, because Apple issues the currency. Had he gone for something like Bitcoin or something like that, would have been much harder to trace. But again, shows that he was someone that had access to the information, which is out there on the internet, access to the tools. Again, most of those are freely downloaded, and then he ran this attack. So again, protect your information, it's your data, it's your life. You're going to be the one responsible to make sure that that's protected. Do your due diligence. Help your friends, because not everyone is doing this thing. So, as always, starting the day with a cup of cyber. Today is Boston. Our normal start with a Lee coffee this morning. So thank you for joining me. Have a nice, safe day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.